Hey everybody, it's been about a year and a half since doing my last video. I got pretty ill a year and a half ago and I just had to put down the brush for a while, but I've been feeling better lately and I've been doing some modeling and just been checking my modeling supplies when I was first starting into it, and I noticed a few things. First of all, I noticed that when I went to go get some glue, this is the kind of glue I use. Testers polystyrene cement. It's like everybody's seen these before. And I had half a bottle or half a tube, and I had this full one, or it was full. And this is no longer usable. It's just lost all its look, it's coming in like a chunk. Lost all its liquid, and it's really stiff now, like liquid glass or something. So that's garbage. Yeah, what else do I have here that went bad? Yeah, this is the half a tube. That was gone. So had to buy more. And I got this just the other day, brand new tube. I know there's I use a lot of Tamiya products. I know the Tamiya glue is out there, and I know people really like it. I'm a little bit scared of it because it's a rather runny liquid, especially this extra thin stuff. I can't understand why they want it so thin. I always have trouble. Well, I don't have any trouble anymore, but I used to have a lot of trouble getting the glue to go where I wanted it, and then I found out by putting a bead on a toothpick and running along the seam or doing whatever, it works really well. But I'm gonna buy a bottle of that Tamiya stuff and see what it's like. But I got a feeling I'm not gonna like it. But testers, I mean. So that'll be good for about a year, maybe a year and a half at the most, or it's gone bad. And I'm betting the Tamiya stuff doesn't go sour either. So let's look at another tester's product. Clear part cement. This is stuff I used. First of all, when I bought this, it was man, this is gross. When I bought this, it was basically just a cake, a solid cake in there. I had to break it up with a paper clip that I straightened out, and actually got a good mix on the go and used it a couple of times. But this is just disgusting, and just thought I'd mix it up and test it out on some paper towel, and this is what I got. I don't know if you can see how wretchedly yellow that glue is. The idea of the clear part cement is it's supposed to dry totally clear, glass clear. This is just gross. It's completely yellow. I don't know how much the camera is picking up, but it's terrible. It's like caramel. So, thanks testers. That's no good anymore. So, I thought I'd get to the real meat of this vid, and oh yes, there was a couple other products. I had a tube of crazy glue gel that I bought maybe close to 2 years ago. Anyway, that was just a solid piece of rock, and yeah, that was totally gone. I didn't save the bottle for that though, but I did buy this other stuff actually before I even bought the crazy glue gel. This stuff, Ultramon. This stuff works just as good as the day I bought it, and actually I really like using it. It's a bit runny, but it's a really good super glue, and it lasts. It doesn't go bad. And what was that other thing? Yeah, the main thing that you really want to watch out for with supplies and models over a long period of time is your decals. I know I mentioned before that when you buy a model, you never know how the decals are going to be presented to you. They might be just put inside the instruction manual, they might be put in a tight bag, or they might have just a little piece of this onion paper over it to protect them. Well, what I did, actually, I'll put some water in here before I forget. What I did, I was about to put some decals on one of my models, and I thought before I did the real thing, I'd practice on some scrap, right? Make sure I've got my skills up enough to, because you don't want to mess up your decals. And I was doing some of those. I was sliding it onto a model, and I noticed that it came apart on me. And I just put just like broke, and I was like, well, okay, that's one decal, who cares, right? But I tried all the other decals on the sheet, and they all came apart like glass. I have a few there. I'm gonna let that soak for a little while so I can show you exactly what I mean. So this is what can happen to your decals over time. Yeah, this is a decal sheet for a Spitfire. It's about 12 years old. It's a Revell kit, and as you can see, these are totally gone. They're useless, every one of them. And I realized that if I'm gonna, like, I bought a whole mess of models there about 3 years ago, back when they were really cheap. I was buying these really good Tamiya kits, Warbirds, and I was getting them for $11.50 each. They're asking over $40 for those in the model store that we have here in Newfoundland. So I was lucky I got a bunch of those. And like I say, you never know how the decals are going to come. Like, take this Oscar, for instance. It's a Hasegawa. It's one of my favorite model makers. Can't wait to build it. It's Nakajima KF-43. It's one of the more popular Japanese aircraft, other than the Zero. So in this particular kit, the decals are put in the instructions, just like this. And they're perfect like that, but there's nothing really protecting them other than the book itself. And other times, you'll buy a kit, and you will get your decals almost always put in the they're almost always in the instruction manual. They are, as you've seen with the last decal sheet, they can be pretty delicate. And this particular model, Spitfire, the decals are put in here like this. They're in a really tight plastic, and there's an onion paper over to protect them. Like, these will last God knows how long. But you just never know. It's a random shoot. So let's see if I get this decal out of here. I decided that the best thing for me to do would be to put them in Ziploc bags. So basically, yeah, that's what I'm doing with all my kits now. I'm just going through them, seeing which ones don't have any plastic around the decals and nothing protecting them. I just started putting it in a bag. That's all you really have to do. I was really worried about these because these were left open, and this kit is ancient too. This is at least 12 years old, I guess. It's a Hasegawa P-51 Mustang, but it's a Hudson, which was brought over from Lend-Lease in the Second World War from the US, and the British called it the Hudson. This is a very unique kit. You don't see very many British P-51s, right? So this was totally left open, just like it was in the Oscar box. I was really frightened that it was going to be ruined, but I just cut out some tests, and the decals are still great. They still work awesome. I'm really happy about that, because I don't see me ever being able to replace this decal sheet with these. They're very unique, so luckily they still work. They're in a plastic bag now. But I decided to take it a step further, and I know that there was this product out there called Glad Press and Seal. And what I did with it was, basically the product is just like a cellophane. You lay it out, and it's got like a slightly sticky side, and then you just, whatever you have, you just put in there, and you just press all the air out, and it's completely sealed. I actually did a little experiment to see how well this will keep out the air and the moisture. So I'll do that in a minute, but once you have it, you can just put it back in your kit and forget about it. It'll survive Hurricane Katrina. So I'm just going to show you now. I'm just going to open this one. I just did this one for the sake of the video. Get some scissors. I'm going to have to speed this along because I don't know how much time. But I can. Oh yeah, the slightly sticky side. With that, I was a little worried that the sticky stuff might hurt the decal sheet, so I just sandwiched it in between two pieces of construction paper to give it that extra bit of protection. Now, I can actually feel the sheet in there. You don't want to cut into the decal sheet, obviously. I can feel it starts here and it ends here, so I'm just going to cut it open. And here we go. Decals for the X15. And I also took it a little step further. I was curious what would happen if it got really wet, and I wonder how well it would stand up to that. So I've had this bottle of water with a press and seal package down in it for a week, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to dry it off, and I'm going to see if the construction paper is wet at all. I have no idea what's going to happen. So, and it's all curved. It's curved because of it was put in. It was in a cylinder, so it curved on me. So I'm just going to dry this off right quick. I'm not optimistic. I mean, after a week, I don't see how this can be dry. Paper towel. You're going to be really surprised if this is dry. Well, I'll be damned. Dry as a bone. In there for a week. So yeah, your decals are freaking safe. So that's about the end. I just like to say that there's a model expo at the Arts and Culture Center here in St. John's. I'm hoping to get there, take a vid from there. But yeah, so another thing, I used to be called DOS Gaming 101. It was the first vid I did is how to run TIE fighters. Actually turned really popular. I got 8,000 views on it, so I know thousands of people are playing that game again. So no, the IMPS, yeah, that's the 9th November. So yeah, so basically I changed my name from Das Gaming to Michael Littman. So why the hell would I do that? Well, I did it because Google wouldn't leave me the hell alone. Every time I'd go on to YouTube, it would say, hey, why not use your real name? Use your real name. Use your real name. Every freaking time. So I said, fuck it. Alright, I'll give you a name. Michael Vittman. There you go. It wasn't taken. Now it's mine. I had a lot of fun with it. Declaring things either neat or gear. It's been a blast. But yeah, I highly suggest you don't go out and give your real name on YouTube, or your real name and the city you live in. Not so much for identity theft or stuff like that. It's for the bloody telemarketers. If telemarketers get your name and the city you live in, people are going to start selling that information to telemarketers overseas, and they're going to bombard you with bloody calls. And if you're anything like me, it drives you completely insane. But that's about it. I'm hoping to do part 3 of the Messerschmitt BF-109 build. And yeah, hopefully you'll hear from me again soon.